The economy of Great Zimbabwe, it was based on agriculture. They cultivated crops such as sorghum, millet, rapoko, and wheat. Women were mostly responsible for the cultivation of crops. Their economy was also based on pastoralism. This was the keeping of cattle, sheep, and goats. And from these animals, they got meat, they got milk, they got manure. They used these animals to pay lobola to their in-laws. Cattle played an important part in their economy in the sense that these animals were regarded as a symbol of wealth. There was also what was known as the Kuronzera system. Those people who were poor, those people who were needy in the society, they were given these animals to use by the king or by the chief under this so-called the Kuronzera system. Their economy was also based on trade. They traded using Sena. They traded with the foreigners such as the Swahilis, the Arabs, and the Portuguese. From this trade, they got a number of items such as guns, they also got clothes, they also got exotic crops, they also managed to get ceramics, etc. Trade played an important part in their economy. Their economy was also based on tribute. This was the payment that was done to the king to show respect or loyalty. It was compulsory, and during the times of drought, people were given back the items that they used to pay tribute. Mining also played an important part. They mined gold, they mined copper, and these items that they used to mine, they traded them with the foreigners. Iron smelting also played an important part in their economy. They smelted iron ore, and from this iron ore, they made iron tools such as hoes, axes, and spears. These items were used for cultivating crops. These items were used for protecting themselves against enemies, and they also used these items for hunting. Hunting also played an important part in their economy. They hunted for meat. They also hunted for skins of dangerous animals. They also hunted so that they could get ivory. Ivory, they used it to trade with the foreigners. Those people who were not in a position of possessing livestock, they were in a position of getting meat as a result of hunting. Gathering also played an important part in their economy. They gathered fruits, they gathered roots, they also gathered wild berries, they gathered grasshoppers, termites, they also gathered birds, they gathered honey. And this activity, it was mostly done by women. Gathering was done to supplement their economy. Their economy was also based on pottery. They made pots, which they used for cooking and also for storing water or their fruits. Weaving also played an important part in their economy. They weaved baskets. They also weaved mats and purses. Fishing also played an important part in their economy. It was done to supplement their diet. Let's move on and talk about the rise and expansion of Great Zimbabwe. Rise, it means prominence. What led the state to be prominent? So there are so many factors that led the state to be prominent. These factors include agriculture. The soils at Great Zimbabwe, they were fertile. The area received minimum rainfall, and this led them to be in a position to have enough food. Enough food led the state to rise into prominence. Pastoralism also led to the rise of the state. The area received minimum rainfall, and this led them to have good grazing pastures for their animals. Good grazing pastures led them to have enough food, and enough food, such as meat, milk, led to the rise of the state. Trade also led to the rise of the state. According to Mudenge and also Hoffman, they stated that the people at Great Zimbabwe, they traded using the Zambezi Valley with east coastal towns of Sofala, Kilwa, and Mogadishu. From this trade, they were in a position of getting a number of items. So trade using the Zambezi Valley was viable, and as a result of this, it led the state to rise to prominence. However, Mudenge's view and also Hoffman's view, they were dismissed by Galak and also D.N. Beach. They argued that there were no trading markets that were discovered later at Great Zimbabwe. Therefore, trade could not have played an important part in the rise of the state. Religion also played an important part in the rise of the state. According to Matenga, he stated that the soapstone beds, the Hungwe Shiriamwari, they played a significant part in the rise of the state. They were in a position of foretelling what was going to take place in the future. And as a result of that, people all over were in a position of knowing Great Zimbabwe. Why? It was because of these beds that were in a position of foretelling what was going to take place in the near future. But however, this again was dismissed by D.N. Beach. He states that these people were not idol worshippers. He states that if these beds were important, why then did these beds fail to interpret that the state later on was going to collapse? Therefore, religion, according to Beach, was not vital in the rise of the state. The army also played an important part in the rise of the state. The army was powerful, the army was strong, the army conquered, the army subdued neighboring tribes, and as a result of that, the state rose to prominence. Mining also played an important part. Mining, they mined gold, and this gold, they used it to trade with the foreigners. The expansion of the state can be attributed to a number of factors. The same factors that played a part in the rise were also the same factors that played a part in the expansion of the state. Agriculture, food was found in abundance, and as a result of that, people were in a position of marrying many wives. Marrying many wives led them to have many children. Many children led the state to rise. Pastoralism, they were in a position of having a lot of food, meat and milk. This led them to marry many wives, many children, the expansion of the state. Trade also led to the expansion. They were in a position of getting exotic crops. This meant that they were in a position of having enough food. Enough food led them to marry many wives, expansion of the state. Religion, it attracted a number of people to leave their areas and join these people at Great Zimbabwe. Therefore, joining the state led to the expansion of the state. The army, it conquered neighboring tribes, it subdued neighboring tribes. Those people that were conquered, they became part and parcel of the state, hence the expansion of the state.